This time, we're going to see how taxes are categorized. There are two main ways to categorize taxes. First is by the subject being taxed. By this method, we can divide taxes into two groups, direct tax and indirect tax. Direct tax is a tax imposed upon an economic entity and can't be transferred by the taxpayer to someone else. There are three direct taxes in Hong Kong, namely salaries tax, property tax, and profits tax. Another type is indirect tax, which is imposed on goods and services. As the subjects taxed are goods and services, tax burdens can be transferred from one entity to another. There are 7 types of indirect tax in Hong Kong, namely stamp duty, betting duty, rates, duties on dutiable commodities such as tobacco, motor vehicles first registration tax, royalties and concessions, and air passenger departure tax. In other countries like the US, Japan, and Korea, you may easily find another common type of indirect tax, general sales tax, yet there's no such tax in Hong Kong so far. The second way to classify taxes is by the changes of tax rates. Tax rate is obtained by dividing tax expenses by taxable income. Under this concept, taxes can be classified into 3 types: progressive tax, proportional tax, and regressive tax. Look at this table and you'll have a better concept of what we are talking about. Progressive tax means that the tax rate increases with the taxable income. In Hong Kong, if you're not paying the salaries tax computed using the standard rate, you're actually paying a progressive tax then. The more you earn, the higher your tax rate is. Proportional tax is a tax imposed with a fixed tax rate that remains the same no matter how the taxable income changes. In Hong Kong, salaries tax at standard rate, property tax, and profits tax before the year 2018 to 19 are all proportional tax. Lastly, regressive tax means that the tax rate decreases as the taxable income increases. All indirect taxes are regressive tax. Let's see the example of air passenger departure tax. No matter how much the person taking the flight earns, when this person leaves Hong Kong, he has to pay a fixed amount of $120. For a billionaire, this $120 is nothing compared to his income. However, this $120 could be a huge burden in proportion for a low-income person. In other words, the tax rate the billionaire pays is much lower than that paid by the low-income person. Therefore, all the indirect taxes are regressive. Is deciding a suitable taxation system easy? You may want to think twice before answering. Every type of tax brings along its own problems. For example, some people think that regressive tax worsens the problem of income inequality and prefer progressive tax instead. However, progressive tax may also lower people's willingness to work or invest, and therefore, slow down the economic development. As a result, governments need to consider the consequences before introducing any new taxes.